Hi, my name is Ed Bentham. I'm one of the founding trustees of the Atlantic Whale Foundation. The AWdF was set up 20 years ago now to run the volunteer programme, the whale watching boats down in Tenerife in the Canaries. In Tenerife there's one of the three biggest whale watching operations in the world, along with Hawaii and Boston in the USA. There are some 28 species of whale and dolphin down in the Canaries. 4 are resident, bottlenose dolphins. As a family live off the coast of Loch Gigantes on the southwest coast of Tenerife. There's 1,000 pilot whales resident down there between La Gomera and Tenerife itself. And there are sperm whales of Moby Dick fame, and there are Risso dolphins. There are also 24 other species of whale and dolphin, everything from tiny common dolphins in their thousands that come through in their migrating periods, and right up to the humpback whale or the blue whale. Seen very rarely nowadays because of the conservation threats to these animals. We've had some 10,000 volunteers through the projects in the last 10 years. Many of them have come back as coordinators. A huge number have gone on to do work in education, in conservation. The vast majority of our volunteers have a really fantastic time. We have a few whinges and nags, and we try to discourage them as far as possible. Hence this message. On the whale watching boats, our volunteers research guide. They do photo ID work on the resident pilot whales and bottlenose dolphins and on the migrating species passing through. They also collect research data, particularly on boat impact and boat behaviour, and they guide. They talk to tourists raising conservation issues. There are 1 million tourists from all over Europe on these boats. It's a great opportunity to get through to people, to amaze them about what they're seeing in nature. It's probably the best place in Europe to see nature at its very best, but also to raise conservation issues regards hunting and pollution and global warming and captivity, etc. This is our real conservation work, getting through to these tourists on the boats, raising their awareness and trying to send them away with a sense that they need to do something as much as we need to do something to protect our nature, the whales and our broader nature. Many hundreds, probably thousands of students from A-level to PhD students have worked on their dissertation through their experience down with us in Tenerife. The project work is about a third of their week in our research centre in Orona, where we're based in the mountains. Apart from the work around whales and dolphins, we also work with animal refuge centres, and many of our volunteers take days out to work with dogs or cats or other animals in these centres. And we're increasingly working with rural tourism, putting income back into the rural economy. The whale watching is ecotourism, but so is paragliding, and so is mountaineering, and so is diving, etc., etc. So we're working a lot with the whales and dolphins, but also with other nature on the island, and also with rural tourism, ecotourism, bringing benefits to the rural local economy of Tenerife. Confucius, 2,500 years ago, tell me, I'll forget. Show me, I might remember. But let me do and I will learn. Our whole programme is based on principles of experiential learning. We bring volunteers in, we see what they want to do, we talk about what we need to do, we agree on a common strategy, and then we facilitate the volunteers, you, going out there and achieving what you think needs to be done. We're about giving you an opportunity to achieve, facilitating you. We're not here to hold your hand and tell you what to do and pat you on the head and say how good you are. We're here to give you a chance to get out there and do something. We talk first, we talk a lot, and then we facilitate you to go out there and do something in the context of what we're trying to achieve on the whale watching boats and elsewhere. It's important you understand that we're not organised in a typical classroom situation. We're about giving you a chance to go out there and do what you think needs doing. We're trying to give young people a chance to make a difference, and what we really want is people that come along that are enthusiastic, great attitude, that want to make a difference. You're on the whale watching boats, you have people from all over Europe, tourists, very well-to-do people who paid a lot of money to be on these whale watching boats, and if you can get through to them and raise awareness around just how amazing our nature is, and inform them, advise them, teach them, educate them that we all have to do something. They have to do something. You send them away from their whale watching experience thinking, I have to do something, I should do something to protect our nature, then you've made a real difference. And that's exactly what you should be doing on those boats. Getting out there and talking to people, getting them enthused, getting them excited, and then trying to get them to go away and do something about our nature and protecting our nature. That's what we're about on those boats, is that we're about volunteers. We're about not just giving people a chance, but making sure they get the most from their experience. So this year, for example, we initiated a program of FAM trips, familiarisation trips, and every day we send a group of our students around this amazing island, either on fabulous walks, like Masca and the Pilgrim's Walk on Teide, or just seeing the island, the black sand beaches of Taganana, the religious centre in Candelaria, the old wine districts in Puerto Cruz in the north, the laurel forest. It's an amazing island, and we want our volunteers to see the island and go away knowing and understanding just how amazing this island is. It's also important that they have this knowledge on the boats and in the visitor centre when talking to tourists. They know what Tenerife is all about. This programme is about giving you people, volunteers, a chance to learn about Tenerife and a different culture. It is an amazing place. So at the moment we're compiling lists of projects, citation projects in conservation, research, education, whale watching throughout the Atlantic Oceans, and we'll be promoting these different projects around the oceans, Atlantic Oceans, to tourists on the boats and to the visitors and to the tourism industry, the whale watching industry in particular in Tenerife. We'll also this year be focusing more on fundraising, and we'll be fundraising for these other projects. So it's not impossible that while you're with us you can fundraise, and your incomes will be going in part to these projects, for projects in different parts of the Atlantic Ocean. So we're actually helping educational programs in Argentina, or we're helping, say, the river dolphins in Brazil, in the Amazon, or we're working with humpback whales in Ireland. There's a huge number of projects out there around whales and dolphins. We intend to make the whale watching industry, the volunteer program in Tenerife, a hub of cetacean activity across the Atlantic Oceans this year, and help fund the cetacean work around these areas. Most of our volunteers fundraise. The way we do it is through the Teide Challenge. Mount Teide, El Teide, is the third highest volcano in the world on the island of Tenerife. It casts the longest shadow in the world. It's 4,000 metres high. We assault it, we climb it overnight. It's too hot during the day, along with mountaineers from all over Europe. From the summit at sunrise, you see the most amazing sunrise on the island, probably on the planet. We expect you to be a great positive attitude, to be enthusiastic, to be a smiling kind of person, the kind of person that people enjoy being around, to be open to ideas, to be enthusiastic. We expect you to be hard-working. We expect you to be idealistic, to want to make a difference, to actually want to go on the boats and get through to people and promote the idea that we should be looking after our nature. We expect you to work along with the other volunteers in the community to get things done. What you can expect is to have a great time. It's sunny, it's warm. There's a great esprit de corps in the community, in the conservation group, the volunteer groups. People really have a great time, both on the whale watching boats and on the island, seeing the island, and socially at weekends. It's just a really enjoyable experience. What we don't want, and what you don't really want, is people that are negative, whingers and complainers. There's no real room for them here. It doesn't really help us. I want young, idealistic, enthusiastic, positive people down here trying to make a difference, trying to make a change, growing in the process. With your help, we can make a real difference. Join us. Help us make that difference.